Hello everyone, in this tutorial we are going to talk about group by and having clause. So group by clause is normally used with aggregate functions like mean, max, avg, sum or count, and these functions normally group together the result set for one or more column, but all these columns are going to have some identical data. So let's get back to the country table in our database. So get back to SQL. So here we can see that in country table we have two such column where same data is being repeated. If we are going into the continent or region, it means we have these two column where we can perform group by clause. So let's write query first, like we have just seen, to write avg function like average function, and inside this we are going to take the average population from country. And as we all know that group by clause is going to be used with aggregate functions. So here I'm just going to write group by, and here we have just identified two column, continent and region, where we are able to see some duplicate data. So we can opt any of these two columns. So I'm just going to opt region, and let's execute this query. So here we can see that some sort of average values are being reflected into the console. Now let's make it more readable. So here I'm just going to write region comma avg, and inside this population from country, country group by region column. So here grouping is done on region column. So let's execute this. So it will represent the name of the region and the average population for that specific region. So execute it, and here we can see that average population with each of the regions are being reflected in a tabular form. Now in place of avg we can just use some other name, and for that we can just use as average population from country group by on region column. So execute it, and here we can see that the column name has turned into average underscore population. So as is normally used for, as a alias. Now if we want to figure out mean and max population as well, in that case we can write mean, and inside parenthesis we are going to use population as minimum population. Similarly we can just use max function as well, population as max population. Here I'm just going to delete this, and let's execute this. So here we can see that whole lot of data as per our aggregate function are being reflected. Now if we want to see the total count of countries those are coming in these region, in that case we can use count star. So it will count the number of rows those are coming for a specific region. So let's execute it. So here we can see that in each of the region we have certain count. Like if we are going to Antarctica, then this region is going to have 5 countries. Australia and New Zealand is going to have 5 countries. Baltic countries are 3 in the number. Caribbeans are 24. So this is the total count for each of the region, and this is reflecting the number of countries in each of the selected region. So by using this we can just use group by clause with any of the aggregate function. Now if we want to provide any kind of conditional statement, in that case with group by clause we normally use having. So here we can write where avg population is greater than, let's copy any of the data from here, and if we are going to execute this, then we can see that it is returning only those. So here we can see that this query is returning only those regions those are going to have population greater than this 37,75,100. So this is one query where we have just used group by and having clause. Now still we have one option to use where clause as well. So where clause always comes before group by clause. So here we can just write where population is greater than 5,000. So what this query is going to do, First, it will filter the table on the basis of population greater than 5,000, and then it will start grouping on the basis of region. So let's execute it. So here we can see that count in each of the region has just decreased from initial value. So first it will compare the population greater than 5,000 and it will bring the data. Then again it will group the data on the basis of region column, and then again it will figure out having clause where average population is greater than 37 lakh 75,100. So this is all about group by and having clause. Thanks for watching.